plaintiff, Lily Griffith, says the defendant is her father. And when she was a child, the defendant was a heavy drinker and cocaine user. Lily claims the defendant physically abused her when she was 13. And after he got custody of her at age 14, the defendant sent her to a wilderness program and then to a boarding school. Lily's suing her father for property and emotional distress. Defendant Andy Griffith says Lily was a troubled youth who was using cocaine and running away from home. And she called the police on him so much that he knew the officers by name. And he admits that he sent Lily to a boarding school because she was out of control. And he refuses to pay her a dime.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I feel like a child shouldn't have to go this far as to take their parent to court. But when I was younger, we got along a little better. He was always working. He was drinking a lot along with my mom. And he was using cocaine.
That's not true.
Since I was 10, like just from when I was born to 10.
How old are you now?
I'm 19.
You live with him or used to live with him? I see you suing him for personal property.
Mm-hmm. I lived with him for like a month and a half.
What year and month?
2015 in April to May.
Okay. And you didn't live with your mom?
I did when I was younger, yeah. And then when I turned 14, he got full custody of her, or of me.
Of you?
Yeah.
But you're 19, so what happened in the 5 years in between?
He sent me away to a wilderness program and then to a boarding school. When that happened, he got custody of me, and for a week I ran away because I didn't feel safe being at his house.
What about the wilderness program and the boarding school? How did that work out?
Well, when I got there, I felt better being there instead of with him, but I was still confused onto why I was sent there. I was smoking weed, but like, I don't know. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
How did you do? You did pretty well in school?
I graduated high school when I got back.
Good. And you're 19, and you furthered your education? Good. What did you do after high school?
Like a month after, I went to cosmetology school at Tony and Guy.
Good. And so why do you say you felt uncomfortable at your dad's?
After my parents got a divorce when I was 10, I felt like he became very like angry, and we would constantly fight physically and verbally. There was this one time I was supposed to go back to my mom's house a day early, and I texted him, and he said, you're not going back. And I said, well, you said I could go back early. And then he came over to the house, because his office is across the street from his house. And he came back, and he walked in the door, and I put my phone in between my legs, and he reached in between and grabbed it and threw me down on the ground and grabbed the back of my hair and started slamming my head into the ground multiple times. And we kept fighting, and he kept yelling at me and calling me names, and he pulled my hair and he was choking me. And
how old were you?
I was 13.
Judge, at what point do we put her on a lie detector test?
Hold on. What'd your mom say?
She couldn't do anything, but when
yes,
she came to the hospital that night.
You went to the hospital?
Yes.
How long were you there?
I was there till I got there at probably 8 o'clock at night.
What did the police say?
Well, I called the cops twice that day. I had a big bump on my head, and the cop told me he really wanted to do something, but he didn't have enough evidence. So then we got in more of a fight. So then I ran away, and I called the cops again down at the neighbor's house. And that's when the cops came, and the cop didn't want to do anything.
Did you tell the doctors what had happened to you?
Yeah, and they took pictures.
And you told the police?
Yeah,
and they both said they couldn't do anything for you?
Yeah,
even though you were laying there in the
mom.
hospital?
Yeah, and they let me go
All right,
back
something
with my
doesn't sound
mom.
right. Let's hear it, sir.
Well, she had the cell phone. She was texting me some ridiculous foul language with the cell phone. I came home. I took the cell phone away from her. She tried to get it back, throwing things at me, throwing fists at me.
That is not what
Let me finish.
happened.
You gave me your version, ma'am.
We didn't get in a physical confrontation. I held her until she let go of the cell phone, and that was it.
She went to
called
the
cops.
hospital, though?
No, nobody went to the hospital.
Did you go to the hospital? Okay. Ma'am, it's hard for me to believe you did, because the hospital has a legal responsibility to make sure you are removed from the household at age 13. Did Child Protective Services come?
Yes, I've been in contact with them a lot of
that
times.
time
They
when
came
your
and
father
they took
beat you
pictures.
until you were hospitalized, did Child Protective Services come?
Yes.
And what did they do?
They took pictures.
No, they didn't remove you from the home?
No, because my parents had split custody and I went home to my mom. My
To your
mom's,
mother's home?
Yeah.
And then they allowed you to go back to your father's house soon?
Whenever it was time to go back.
How soon?
I think like the week after.
A week later.
at a time.
After your father beat you,
Yes.
Child Protective Services said, now you can go back. 1 week later. Yeah, I don't believe you. Don't believe you. Tell me about the nature of the relationship with your daughter.
Well, obviously she's 19 and knows everything, and she's entitled to everything. And it pretty much got worse.
Why did you keep her instead of her mom?
Her mom just an unfit parent, and I went into court and had the judge decide who was better fit, and the judge said her mom's not fit to be a parent. Her mom's alcoholic, has blackouts all the time, and just an unfit parent. So she lost custody. When I got custody, that's when things really went bad, when I got full custody of her, because at that point, her therapist and myself talked about what would be best for her, and we put her in a wilderness program, one of those wilderness programs, and this one happened to be
Because she was already troubled.
She was already troubled, yeah. She was running away, doing drugs. She's doing the cocaine and everything. I couldn't keep a leash on her, and her mom was out of the picture. Her mom was just an alcoholic. So the wilderness program that I chose was actually endorsed by the Dr. Phil program. So and that was close to where I live, about 6 hours away. Put her in that, and that's about a 6-month program. When she graduated, we decided that she's still not ready to come home. So I found a boarding school, a therapeutic boarding school, all girls.
Who decided, the therapist and you?
Yeah, both of us. Actually, if we didn't do that, she probably wouldn't be standing here right now. Who knows where she'd be. So
She's
got her
still
into
under
the boarding
treatment?
school.
She's still receiving treatment, counseling? Or
No.
therapy?
She's 19 and she doesn't need it now because she
needs
knows
it.
everything.
She needs it.
She knows more than you.
I would like to do therapy
Okay, we're going to help you. We're going to get you some. We'll take
because
care
of
that.
you.
We'll take care of that, young lady. I'm going to ask you to stop doing this to your dad because you haven't come across as honest, and now I'm hearing why.
Yeah, the police came out so many times that I knew him by name.
She would call the police
Yeah,
on you?
she would call the police. They
ever
never
arrested-
took me to jail or anything. And in the boarding school, she didn't complete that boarding school because there are certain steps you have to take, and you get to a certain point, then you can come home for a week's vacation. When she came home for that week's vacation, she took off again. And at that point, then Child Custody Services got involved. And they thought, what's going on here? So they got involved, and I kind of backed out at that point because I'm like, what else can I do here? And they took
You
her, they
want to
put
tell
her in a
him why
foster
they got
home.
involved? Please.
They put her in a local foster home, and they put her in an alternative high school, and they at least got her to graduate high school. And that was, at that point, that was the main focus. She was 17, and I was like, okay, we've got to get her a high school diploma. And that's all that everybody, at that point, that's what
now,
everybody.
somehow she got into cosmetology school, I assume.
Well, yeah,
She's
she got out, graduated high school, things started going good. She moved back in, she started going to cosmetology school.
Yeah.
It was costing me a bundle of money every month. I'm paying for that. Bought her a car, paying for her health insurance, paying for her auto insurance. She'd come over to my office, to my shop, get a tank of gas every week, paying her room and board, and transferring money to her account all the time, and everything was going fine.
So what happened to bring you guys here today?
Well, she decided that her dog was more important than my house, and she.
What does that mean?
She let her dog just poop and pee all over my house, tear up my screen,
No, I
tear up
did
my house,
not.
tear up my girlfriend's shoes and everything like that.
Okay.
So I told her, I said, Lily, you're gonna have one. It was a Friday afternoon, and I said, Lily, you're gonna have to, fix this door. You're gonna have to clean up the carpet. You're gonna have to do this and do that. She just walked away, and I said, you walk away, I'm gonna I'm going to ground you from your car for the whole weekend. And so she just kept walking away. So I put a clamp on the tire of the car. We took off for the weekend. The next day, my neighbor called and said, Andy, you know, it's got Lily and 2 of her male friends out here. They're trying to get that clamp off your car. So I texted Lily and I said, Lily, that's grand theft. I said, leave that car alone. You can't take that car. And then she left, and she just, you know, she left the car alone and everything. And I come home that Sunday afternoon. At that point, then I had to tell her, you know, you can't live here anymore, Lily. You simply can't.
What property is she suing you for?
She's got right here. Do you want the pictures? She's got 4 boxes of clothes.
Okay.
Right there.
Why does she have to sue you for them?
Because I told her I'm not going to give them back to her. They're not hers to begin with.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
mine. I paid for them.
No, you did not.
Okay.
Well,
lady, I'm going to let you talk, but you have to get yourself together over there. Personal property and the emotional distress. How does he owe you, and what does he owe you?
When I was there and he yelled at me, he called me names. And then the night that we got in a fight, he said that I need to leave and I can't have any of my stuff. And I said, why? And he said, because I paid for it. And I said, no, you didn't. My mom has transferred money into my account. I've made my own money.
Do you have any list of how much the personal property is worth? Do you have your list? Is there any other evidence you or either one of you want to submit?
Got those pictures? Anything else?
Not about the personal property, no.
What else do you have?
I've got some texts here that just kind of shows how she treats me. Here's one in particular.
That's it?
Yeah.
Do you have the text messages that you sent me too?
This is you. We really need to talk. I just don't understand why you hate me so much. Did you go to school today and yesterday? It's good talk from a dad. Your response, young lady, it doesn't matter where I live or what I'm doing, or what does matter is you get rid of my S because you're a piece of S and a deadbeat dad. You've never, ever been involved in my life. When I get married, guess who's walking down the aisle by myself? Not you. Okay. Some of the things you say, sir. You have lied to people about me for the last 10 years, Lily. You have told the police that I beat you, that I threw you out of the truck when you jumped out of the truck. You even told people that I raped you.
And I never said that, and I don't even know where that came from.
I do not want anything to do with you unless you change your ways. We're going to help you get counseling, and we're going to give you your money for the things that he's withholding. And then I'm not granting you, young lady, anything for emotional distress. What we are going to do is get you some help, because it appears to me that you need help, a significant amount of counseling and therapy.
Yes, because of the things he has said to me.
No.
And what has happened?
That's not why. Young lady, that's not why. That's not why you need it. It's not why. We're not going to blame him. He has done everything he can for you. He's done much more than a lot of fathers I know who are trying to raise girls by themselves who have been damaged. No. Sir, my hat's off to you.
Thank you, Your
For
Honor.
everything you've tried to do. She is troubled. And that's why when she came to live with you, a man didn't have a mother in their life, that's tough for a girl. I know girls who are like that, who their mothers were not capable of caring for them, or just didn't want to, or abandoned them. Sound like she just wasn't capable, that's all. Doesn't sound like she loved you any less, she just wasn't capable. So, good luck to you both, and young lady, we're definitely gonna help you, and we're gonna grant you $900 today, so you win, all right? Good luck, and we're gonna help you. Have a good day, sir.
I would like to see her get some counseling. I would like to see her get some help, and maybe both of us can work on it together. Both of us go to counseling together and see if we can work something out.
Lily has taken advantage of some of the counseling sessions offered to her.